in the country, I realized that the extension of law is not perfect. In the sense that police brutality affects us as a minority. It's subjective in its own essence, and we do not think that human is the best extension of law and such. Hence why we're going to change this to here. What is the stance of OG? OG's stance is clear. We do not think that human is the best extension of law. We say that the best and perfect coordinator is not human at all, that is subjective to a certain and against a certain race to begin with, and we say that machinery is the one that is best to do it, and such. What are the model for this debate? We give you 3 points of model. Number one, what you need to understand is that this will be done not only through some wishy-washy forms of, profiling, etc. We're going to do a huge amount of research in their background, for example. We're going to see their living state ideology, tendency to be race, for example, where they're living, and tendency for what ideology that they put into and such, and how it can lead to a behavior that's particularly going to be dangerous to begin with. We're going to stop it the moment we realize that this individual have the capacity to do so, and this individual, have the intention to do so, and such, right? Notice that this drone will go as a prevention, for example. It will be 24/7 guarding forces, for example. We'll make drones, for example, in order to carry out all of this. We're going to punish them on the street and such. Notice that thirdly, the one that is also going to determine of them receiving the punishment or not is also going to be these particular machineries to begin with. Alright? What opposition cannot argue to you, they cannot argue to you the efficiency of this machinery to begin with. This debate assumes that this machine works perfectly, and hence why it is going to be justified to begin. Firstly, as of now, why is it principally okay to prosecute someone before the event of their crime to begin? We give you 3 reasons for this. Number one, notice that in law we always see intention as the highest form or as the highest means of crimes, right? The fact that we punish hate crime even more than other means of crime means that we see intention as the variable that's best to determine whether or not someone deserves a larger or harsher punishment or not. Notice that in the current status quo, we appreciate and we consciously attack the idea of intention towards law, and the fact that they have the intention to do crime to begin with makes it justified to do this to begin with. The fact that we punish them because of their intention and such. Number 2, notice that law always works in the sense of preventive measure. The reason why we're giving more jailing times is not only that the person can sense or be regretful towards them getting into crime, but the fact that this individual later on cannot pursue other harms in the future. Meaning that when you go to jail because of your crime, you're not necessarily there just because you do that crime, because you have the potential to do other crime and your crime again later on in the future. This means that in the current status quo, we already punish someone by virtue of preventing them and etc. Right? And number 2, notice that profiling also exists in the status quo. That even if that it is not right, why is it something that's particularly justified to be done? Notice that the body of law can only work if the extension is correct. Because law is just a writing on the book, it's just a writing on the law. The one that determines whether or not that law is something that's significant is the concession of the society, and the one who extends it and the one who implements it to begin with. Why is this something that's particularly important? This is why our argument is very important. Because our argument talks about the idea why is it that the implementation of law is going to be so huge under our side, hence increasing the effect of body of law and such, right? Why would it create a better conduct of labor for this individual? We're not only talking about better or peaceful society, but we're going to talk about that, right? We're talking about society where you trust your enforcer, for example. You do not see them as an individual that particularly carries a certain race that you hate, for example, or that you particularly hate, that you particularly don't like, and such. But notice that when you live in this particular world, you're not scared of public shooting anymore. You're not scared of the chance of you being attacked just because of the pigmentation of your skin, for example, and such, right? You live in a society in which you can be secure with your livelihood, you can be secure with whatever it is the things that you do, and such. And we said that the principle of the ends of this particular world justify the means of doing it to begin with. Why? Because notice the intention is something that's particularly important. The fact that you are willing to do crimes to begin with makes you justified to do for us to do this. But even if, right, they're telling you that police in the current status quo is currently enough. What we're going to tell you as OG is that police in the current status quo is not enough. Human conducting law is not enough in the current status quo. Why? Because police and other humans is exactly the problem. They are biased against a certain racial feature, for example. Human is the worst extension of law because they're biased towards their own race, towards their own ideology, and etc. Right? The fact that we can hijack all of this and determines whether or not someone should be punished by virtue of them doing it and such means that we're going to create a much better world by comparison, right? So they need to prove to you why is it police that is particularly biased, that have a huge amount of power as a military to do race, for example. The fact that white people are only going to be the police in the United States and etc. is going to lead to a better world when we have the alternative of making sure that there are no biases, for example, that there are no individual that's going to carry this bias in their judgments and such, right? Number 2, notice that punishment is also biased under their side. Because what you need to understand is that when it comes to police brutality, when it comes to police catching these people out of the virtue of them being black, it's not only stop with you coming to jail, right? It also starts when you're being prosecuted. It also starts with when those judges are mostly going to be white, are mostly going to be individuals who was going to punish you by virtue of you being black. At the very best scenario, perhaps you're going to be punished lightly, but most likely the white people are not going to be punished as harshly as you. Notice what happens here. Notice that the bias not only affect the fact that you're going to be captured, but also the punishment that you're going to receive as an individual. We've already tell you that human is the worst individual to be the extension and the implementary of law. That is what they need to prove to you, and etc. Right? But number three, notice that human is easily hijacked. The fact that lobbying exists in police forces, the fact that lobbying exists with judges and you can pay the juries and etc. means that humans have the capacity and their own self-interest to that overcomes the idea and the principle of law. Why is it going to be very different under our side? Because under our side, you're not going to be captured by virtue of your race. You're going to be captured under a huge analysis of you conducting a federal crime or not and such, right? You're going to be captured on the virtue of you as an individual, the harm that you might oppose and etc. And we said that this is the greatest purpose that law needs to be done. So what is the comparative here? The comparative is that under their side, they need to prove to you why in the current status quo, police have the capacity and judges have the capacity to be better when they are biased, when they do not, when they have their own self-interest and etc. Right? When we have the alternative to ensure and hijack and prevent all of this to happen and such. And why does the perfect society in which you can live comfortably and you can walk down the street comfortably when you are a minority without being scared of being shot by those white individuals and etc. can happen under their side. We can prevent that from happening. You have the assurance under our side. That is what we're bringing to you under the current status quo, right? Yeah, very proud of us.
Okay. One of the biggest claims coming from the opposite bench is saying that, oh, this harm, the anxiety that gives people, the sense of security would not happen, right? These people would get scared. But understand that those harms is not exclusive on our house. It also exists in the right side of the house. The fact that police car patrolling the street, especially the fact that white police patrolling the black neighborhood, but also give anxiety to people around it, something that is not exclusive to the right side of the house. But what champions OG in this debate is, we give more sense of objective judgment call making in handling those crimes. It is what makes us particularly advantage in this scenario. They're also talking about controlling by government, but they never characterize what kind of controlling government that they're talking about, right? This is not social credit system, ladies and gentlemen. It's not like government is controlling your everyday life, affecting your habits and such. But what gives the government do is make your life more secure, giving you security and safety life, ladies and gentlemen, something that we all want. This debate is not talking about, this debate is talking about which method could bring more safety to the society, ladies and gentlemen. We say that happiness, getting a job, living safely, living happily ever after is not exclusive on the job in the center of the house. The security that this government provided also give people a sense of happiness. It's also give a sense of that they're being cared by the government, right? And they're talking about other variables that make people do crime, such as intention. Exactly. Understand that the harsher your intention on doing the crime, the harder you are going to commit the crime. The fact that people holding grudges all the time, when it blows up to kill, when they have grudges intention to kill someone, something with intention is enough to make him do the crime. We said that intention is something that is not exclusive. Intention is worth to be protected. Now, clarifications. We say that having this system doesn't mean that the AI is going to start a revolution of such. Doesn't mean that the AI is going to aimlessly harm citizens just because they are AI, right? We're talking about cases where normal human being would shut down frozen when a gun is pointed to their head. Alright? We're talking about this kind of safety measure, check and balances that the AI will provide of their objectiveness. But when the specific actions of our prediction is deemed beyond the extreme measure, it is the time when this AI is going to take the call to take leader measures such as tasing the person and etc. You say that the harm is not going to be that great as bad as they say. Now, welcome to my case. I'm going to bring you first, why is it okay to arrest someone arrest someone even before they committed the crime, and secondly, what this can do, what the technology can do that the conventional police cannot do. Alright, we're talking about, first I'm going to characterize the people's actions. We said that people's actions are predictable at very best, assuming that this AI have predicted each course of action that a human could possibly do, and then executing the most possible one that one would do, right? We say that it's the person, the condition that says people being psychopath, detecting human expression and faces that affects how they're going to behave, right? We're talking that humans are predictable in a way, in the sense that people cannot hide the expressions that they're making, alright? It happens naturally. When you are mad, you make certain expressions that you are mad. People know that. People can predict that what you're going to do is going to it's you expressing your being mad, right? We say that these certain predictable actions can be catered by the AI, right? The fact that human is predictable, whether human can predict people showing happiness and such. Imagine if it's hyped by an intelligent, super intelligent AI that can predict precisely what's going to happen. What's going to happen in our side of the house? First, the judgment call is more objective, not clouded by certain bias that is conferred by my previous speaker, part of the black neighborhood. The fact that you are being certain, let's say, being biased, and police human being biased to certain race, gender, nationality, personal value, which is religious and etc. Something biases that this AI will not do, bring comparative advantage in solving the crimes. Why this will happen? Why, when the bias is not happen, what happens is first a quicker decision making by these law enforcers. Why is this something that's particularly important in this debate, right? Because this matters when it's a case where minutes of judgment could make a line between a life and death, ladies and gentlemen. When a suicide bomber in Syria is going to detonate explosive that could kill hundreds of people, a quick decision making is the line between the lives of these people and hundreds of people that's going to kill by the action of the suicide bomber. Many factors that a normal human being would be worried when they are in those specific position, when they know the bomb could kill billions, but what happens when these police enforcers, the normal human being, they could be hesitant, ladies and gentlemen, knowing that maybe this girl is someone, maybe this bomber is a girl, maybe this bomber is pregnant, certain prejudices, certain biases that they will not take. But when it becomes the AI's responsibility, quick objective making is a quick decision making is something that's entirely important that could save all these lives without biases. Ladies and gentlemen, these biases as human beings would harm the lives of hundreds of people. That is what we want to avoid, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are talking about trolley problem in a highly sophisticated way, ladies and gentlemen. Now, trade-off. Even if, let's take the best scenario, where even if the people's actions at some extent not predictable, why is it okay to have this kind of AI ability and technology? Alright, first we say that most likely the case is going to be very little, alright? Knowing that this technology could see what people's behavior, people's prediction in face and expressions, knowing that these variables is, that case, they're harming the people would be very little. But what's exclusive in our side of the house, that overlook all the mess, all the flaws that this technology has, we have success cases. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about people's life, hundreds of thousands that will be saved by this kind of technology, that will be made by this technology, that execute their decisions based on objective value, but not based on biases, that would execute it in a very quick decision making that would save hundreds of people's lives, right? Judgment making in stopping the evil and crime. These success cases is what overlook all its flaws. They need to prove to us why the marginal failure case would overshadow the success cases that this technology would have, right? Now, what have we brought to you as the offer of the government benches? We have brought to you why it's important when certain actions is not predicted by certain prejudice by someone, certain biases. Secondly, we have proved to you what this can do that the conventional policies can do, and the comparative benefit, comparative advantage of this certain technology. We're proud to propose.
Mr. Chair, what we regret is that the idea that coming from the opening government is that how they are sending the narrative that criminal justice system is so no bias, and so on, without giving you explanation. Why then civil system is the only one that can solve the problem of bias and so on. Meanwhile, when you as judges being biased, you still get punishment anyway under the status quo, right? I'm going to intertwine all my rebuttal on my substantive. First of all, which system are going to give a bigger harm towards the government? A, if what they want is safety, we think that it's not what's going to be happen under their side of the house. Because how under their side of the house, they're taking away the family, or even taking away the parents who need to raise their children, for example. They're killing those people right away just because the intention of crimes is big, and so on. It makes the society are holding revenge towards the government itself, because how these children are get harmed when they're still children in the very first place. B, because how the government are limiting their own society movement. Under their side of the house, there will be a religion regime, for example, who will oppose government and creating even more harm toward the government because of how those people who are creating a rebellion regime and so on are because of how those voices from rebellion regime and so on are cannot to be opt out because how government are limiting their movement and so on. Moreover, let's take a look, Mr. Madam Chair. Under the side of the house, there is only the powerful regime. There is only a powerful people who could uphold the government and so on. Because how under the side of the house is going to be because how under the side of the house, the government will be so authoritarian towards their own society. Those government will creating a narrative. This government are going to be creating a narrative that if you didn't agree with the government proposal and so on, you will be killed right away, ladies and gentlemen. Moreover, when the government wanted to give you a self-protection and so on, articulated, you need to have that kind of bad intention also. For example, the moment when you prepare the pepper spray, for example, for your own protection, you will get punished anyway because the government will think that you bring those pepper spray everywhere is because you want to harm other people. Meanwhile, it's only to save yourself from everything that's going to be happen under their side of the house. Yes.
Pepper spray is not a knife, number one. Number two, what you need to understand is that we're not going to kill everyone, right? That there are going to be specific judgment for the punishment.
But let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen. Even if it is not going to kill anyone, it's still going to limiting your movement under the country itself, ladies and gentlemen. Because how when you're going to have a bad intention of something, first of all, even if you're not getting killed, you're still going to have a mental institution and so on, ladies and gentlemen. The government are being so authoritarian and limiting limiting your movement on everything. Second issue, which proposal are going to create a better safety towards the society? A, we think that by taking the judgment is not only by one matrix such as civil system proposed to you, right? Even under the status quo, in how the court are giving decision whether those criminals are deserve to be arrested and how long their period is by a long investigation, right? And we think that the system that already provided by the government is already enough to begin with, ladies and gentlemen. Rather than changing the word system from the beginning, like what the government proposed to you, what we need is to improve our system so it can be even better. We could be even better. Under the side of the house, those people are just for example, under the side of the house, if those people are just thinking to steal bread, for example, because how they are living under privilege and could not even eat healthily, will be executed in the spot because they have intention to stealing something, right? Because they have the intention to steal something, right? Comparatively, under our side of the house, those people are still to be able to live their life, right? For example, because how there is still justification under our side to give them a short time arresting, for example, because how they are a first time offender, or even how the government could improve their food coupon program, for example. Notice that the intention to do crime is not by the only parameter. Comparatively, what happened under the government side of the house is because they didn't give you which crimes are deserved to be killed, which type of crime that deserve to be go to mental institution, right? Under the side of the house, when you are being a corruptor that coming from a powerful regime, there's no option for you. You could go to mental stage and you could be killed right away. Meanwhile, under our side of the house, it's clear that you will get arrested and have a deterrence effect, ladies and gentlemen. Because how they are not giving you an exact parameter which crime that are going to be killed right away, ladies and gentlemen, and they didn't give you the exact parameter which intention are seen as the one who could create the harm towards the government and so on and so on. If what the government wants is the society to feel safety and not afraid of shooting and so on, we think it still could be catered under our side of the house, right? Because how law is created to not only be the deterrence effect, but also law is created as a prevention and protection towards our own society, right? Our own society, right? Like how if you're selling weed in Indonesia, you will be prosecuted to that punishment, right? To that punishment and so on and so on. And how when you are stealing something as a first-time offender, you will get arrested for 1 month, for example. It's giving you a clear difference whether or not this crime is high and deserve to be killed, to be have a death sentence, or this crime is not that harming towards the people, and you still could be arrested and get the deterrence effect, and you still could improve your life and so on and so on. See, you're giving the chance to those people who are being the first time offender and so on to change their life to an even better life, right? Those people who are doing that, they will have the deterrence effect. They will change their life and so on. In order to not creating any terror towards our own society, vote for technocracy as the opening opposition.
Opening debate failed to portray to you what is the afterlife when we prefer the word with this civil system or not, right? There is no best that exactly claim to you what exactly the benefit or even the harms that going to be caused by this civil system. OG is only talking that this law system or even this human shield is not going to be enough to cut up this kind of thing, right? But then OO is never prove to you why this data effect is no longer effective under the CGS system. And I will prove to you later what exactly mess under the CGS system, right? Look, here's the thing. There is no banks that exactly told you what exactly the afterlife that's going to be exist, right? That rebuttals towards opening opposition. First of all, we still questioning on how they believe that they're going to be rebel society inside this kind of system. Because this good government is really portrayed to you a realistic utopic world that's going to be achieving by portraying the security towards our society, right? Second of all, they never claim to you or even prove to you why this criminal justice system or even the process inside those kind of things will create an effective deterrence effect. Because under our side of the house, under CG, will prove to you why the deterrence effect will going to be clearly or even giving the clarity inside those kind of system will going to be happen, right? We're still questioning on how they believe that it will creating the limiting or even limiting the movement inside of the individual. We're still questioning on how it's going to be bad by limiting this intention to do crime, for example. That this crime is going to be having a bad causes or even giving this advantage to another party, for example. Our stance as OG that we are clearly we taking a bold stance that we are not tolerate this crime anymore, even if it is coming from intention, for example. Because this crime is really toxic, this crime is really problematic inside our society because it's betray the individual, it's harming those individual and also the system inside the society, right? That is why we believe under this civil system, this is going to be really fine. Our additional model, we know that this AI will going to be detected what exactly problematic inside our society under the intention to do crime, for example. We know that there is a petty crime, for example, or small crime to do, for example. But under this petty crime, we'll go to this kind of people under the rehabilitation. We are not going to cut his head, for example, under this petty crime. But instead of, if the moment that this crime, for example, of the terrorist, for example, or even the murder, we're going to be take action, a bold action to stop those crimes, for example, right? That is why the security and also happiness that the OO claim to you will going to be exist under CG. My justification, why individual could be punished under this civil system. That individual should be having a security instead of physically or mentally or even financially security, right? That is why the idea of government that want to promoting the protection in society, it should be upholded, and this is the very first place. The ending outcome towards this kind of work, it should be on how this would could going to be peacefully, for example, and that's going to be happen under civil system. Why? This not that this is not utopic idea. This is realistic idea that could be achieving under the city, right? You know, the problem of crime is really toxic. There is no justification for people to do crime. For example, claim to you this minority or even historically background that they are poor, that they are justified to think, for example. There is no justification for people to do crime. You know that this outcome of crime is creating disadvantage towards people, right? There is no justification. Just because you black, you got oppression, is not justified for you to kill someone to express your emotion, for example. That is why this crime is really toxic and need to be stopped at the very first place. And you know, this crime is also happen under the mentality. If they claim to you that the justification is that, secondly, there is also the mentality of people that want to do crime, and that's going to be detected under the civil system only that going to exist, right? Because you know this is going to be some. And now, and not that this is here's the thing. Why status quo is not enough? The CCS is no longer effectively. You know that the CCS is included the punishment, for example. This punishment is only compensate to the victim, for example, towards this kind of towards the victim going to be justified inside those kind of punishment, for example. But not that doing this kind of punishment, you need to take one rescue or even one harm that going to be already happened, for example. The price you take, the price that you want to take it for doing this punishment is you need to cause a harm, for example. That is why we do not want to do this kind of harm. We need to cut the possibility of this harm to happen, right? That is why we need this civil system to detect what exactly the intention, what exactly the possibility that going to be exist that the crime will going to be happen, right? Secondly, you have to believe that CGRs there is a rehabilitation and also on how this tool will going to be securely going to our society. But that's not enough. The reason why, even if law is still exists, even if this criminal justice exists, there is a lot of murder will going to be still happen under our side, right? That is why the CGRs is not creating better deterrence effect. And why under civil system, this is will creating a peaceful towards the society by cut all the possibility and creating a better different effect and also better mentality of our society, Mr. Manager. What happened? The moment there is this AI that could detect the mentality, for example, the moment that there is the possibility of people to want to do crime, for example, this is going to be spotted, and this kind of people will believe that these people is in danger, for example. They're going to be shot by our government, by our system, for example. That is why these kind of people will change their behavior to not to do crime, or even to have intention, to have a mental to do crime, for example. That is why this kind of civil system is to really tells you that the deterrence effect will going to be effectively happen, because it stops people to do those kind of things, right? It changes the mentality of the people because you know that the crime and because the crime and also the mentality is really that toxic, because this is going to be harming another people, because you take another people's side by doing this kind of harm, right? By spotting those kind of intentions, it will change the mentality of individual to not having those kind of things. Under our foot, we are having a kindness people. We still questioning on how or don't want to agree and living on people. Well, you know that all of the people who are going to have a kindness mentality, for example, we still questioning on how people want to rattle on that, right? Comparatively, without this civil system, we will sending the narrative that it's okay to do crime. There is always justification to do crime, for example. There is always justification for minority or even historically background people to do crime, for example. You know, we are not going to be altruistic towards this crime people, Mr. Madam Jadi, because this crime is really toxic. That is why if they claim to you that our government is going to be authoritarian, yes, we take that. Because you know, this is going to be turned off to creating security to our society. They cannot guarantee to you what exactly criminal justice system is creating security, is creating an ineffective deterrence effect. That is why we go to
Mr. Speaker, opinion positions relies on the idea that minority and majority would be supervised, but they never explain to you why minority would be aggressively punished by the system of civil system, right? CO will be the one to prove to you that minority will get oppressed and they will not get their right in the very first place. But before that, clarifications. First of all, they say, CG come out and say that they say by using CGS, there will be no security at all. First, yes, the security would be lesser if CGS is that corrupt, which means if they play in scenario where CGS is that good and credible, we think that the security of people would be upholded. CG should play in scenario where it's still, if CGS is that good, why it's still not that credible. Second, CG and OG never explain to you how this sibyl system would punish the people and give deterrence to people. First, if they will punish or rehabilitate these people based on their continuous bad intentions, we think it's still not effective to make them deter, right? Because you need to notice that humans are prone to do actions based on their conditions. For example, if you are minority and get act of discrimination, we think that the first thing that come out to your mind is that self-defense and blaming them in the very first place. This to say that this would not give them deterrence, because whatever happens, they always put their emotions in the very first place, which will be resulted into they are being rehabilitated because of they get operations in the very first place. Rebuttal that will engaging to my issue. First of all, they say that opening government come out and they say that intention to do a crime is part of a crime. We say as long as there is no victim occur, it's not part of crime, right? But even if the intention is bad, such as for example, you keep continuously thinking to kill people, we say it's perfectly fine. A, because your rationality to stop that intention to do a crime shows you that you have the awareness that harming other people's right is bad. And second, we think they always play in the best case scenario where law is that corrupted and the judges are biased. We also don't want to support that Mr. Diva. Thus we say that status quo is progressive, where we keep defending credible judges and intelligence. Thus we say that we don't fight and we don't support for law that is so discriminated to black people in the various place, right? We are very proud to oppose these motions. But let's take the issue. But let's take the comparative. Why by using sibyl system, minority would be oppressed? This would be my case. You need to notice the characterizations that whole government batch forgot in this debate is that who's on the sibyl system, right? We say it's government and their stakeholders, right? What does it mean? The moment they impose certain policy, such as immigrant policy that Muslims is not allowed to enter US, or certain policies such as pro-life policy, the other actor, like Muslim or black people, would get harmed, right? Simply because they show extreme emotion of disappointment or madness towards the government or majority. What this resulted into, Mr. Speaker? First of all, this sibyl system blocks people to speak up, because even if they only think about demonstration in front of the officials, government would punish and rehabilitate them. That's why in government bench there will be less movement that is fight for their rights. No more Black Lives Matter, no more feminists in status quo and vice versa. And second, if this civil system exists, we think that there will be no check and balance in government and society. Simply because government assumes that society live in happily and in healthy conditions or living in healthy environment. Thus we say that civil systems are prone to government and not benefiting all societies. But let's take the comparative. Once there is no civil system, we think that police would not get. But let's take the comparative. Once there is no civil system, and we engage to the case of opening government, where police would not get pastoral help in fixing terrorist actions. We think it's also happened in government side of the house. Why? First of all, the nature of terrorist cases are very structural, right? Even when we use civil system, will not measure who are the perpetrators. Why? A, because their doctrinizations of terrorist ideology that continuously being given, making their emotions in doing the actions stabil, right? Thus, even if there is civil system, this would not be able to detect their bad intentions, seeing the case that these terrorists have the ability of stabilize their emotion. That's why they can go to certain place that's why they can go to certain place that is not making attractions in the very first place, right? Just to say, with or without civil system, we think that this civil system is a waste of investment. Or B, it's better if we stick with status quo where investigations take so long, because at least we can quantify or detect who's certain group that is prone to support terrorists. For example, now we can detect a group of potential terrorists in Surabaya by using investigations or by the help of people's information and people's empathy. Under their side of the house, under their side, people would be so very apathetic because they think all of crime can be handled by civil system, right? Which they think it will never lead into peaceful society, because you need to notice that the nature of peaceful society is where people help each other and have sympathy. Under their side, they should prove to you once people are being so apathetic. They saying at a car accident, for example, they would most likely not wanting to help that people in the very first place, right? Simply because this civil system can guarantee who's the perpetrators and who's the victims in the very first place. We think that the apathy society that they proud to be brought in this case should not be supported in the very first place, right? Because it limits people's sympathy and it limits people's right to speak out in the very first place. And notice that in some accidents, people are wanted to help each other because they know that know that there will be feedback, right? Once the civil system are being uploaded, we think that there will be no people who help each other because they think that if they help each other, they will be put in these cases where civil system will see their intentions, wanted to help them or not, right? We think that it's bad because we think that their intentions of helping these people will not be counted in the very first, and no, when there will be a huge people of that is being a part is very proud to oppose.
Mr. Madam Chair, simply on massive here, it will not creating your argument becoming legit to begin with. But it's also same with CGS system in also, just because it just is running in current status quo, it doesn't necessarily mean CGS is legit and work in status quo right now, ladies and gentlemen. What happening in opening government, they trying to portray the status quo not enough because law is biased and so on and so forth by saying that you can pay judges and so on. We think that it's too assumptive to begin with, right? And also, ladies and gentlemen, they try to play on the scenario that describing how other people to begin. What happened in opening opposition is that they're trying to say repeated crime that somehow being angry is still okay because it's temporary time to begin it. We said this to is right. But secondly, they're trying to portray CGS is enough. But I'm going to prove you why it's not work under the house, ladies and gentlemen. And what like opening debate is that they were trying to show you what exactly the tangible output after we prefer this kind of motion, ladies and gentlemen. Going to my issue, right? Two issues in my speech, which I can prove to you on the principle level that it is urgent to implement this kind of technology, and secondly, why this is going to, which I can prove to you can change the behavior and change the idea of peaceful of life in our world, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, they say it is not justified because somehow that angry is only temporary time to begin with. Number one, no, because you need to understand in the context, right, that we do such two kind of action. Number one, we give you rehabilitation facility. Secondly, we will give you that penalty to begin. We still consider your crime to begin, Mr. Chair. We don't see differentiation under our Soda House with opening opposition, ladies and gentlemen. But even worse, ladies and gentlemen, under Soda House is that even if your crime is temporary time, we say we are not fine to begin because that's the time we are going to normalize every kind of crime to begin, Mr. Chair. You are going to compromise other crime to be simple petty crime and so on and so forth. We don't necessarily understand what exactly the negative impact after you doing this kind of crime, ladies and gentlemen. But secondly, they say criminal justice system is enough. Number one, because like is that never proved to you how CGS work under status quo right now, ladies and gentlemen, to make sure you are not biased as good judges to begin. No, secondly, no, because in justice system it's still biased anyway. Yes, like opening government came to you that come to you is biased, but lack of opening government is that never say to you why going to be biased at the end of the day. Even if they say to you can pay judges, we think that is not matters to begin, right? I'm going to explain to you more important reason why CGS is biased to begin. Here's the things. Number one, we see the fact that in CGS, the society perspective still can involve in terms of punishment decision towards individual in the ladies and gentlemen. Take an example, Ahok cases in the ladies and gentlemen, that because of the power of media that blow up. However, Ahok in itself, that makes negative social reaction. That shows you that it will interfere the decision of the judges in itself to give you punishment towards the Ahok in itself, ladies and gentlemen. Shows you it is too biased, ladies and gentlemen. Shows you society are not society perspective still biased anyway because of what the power of media blow up. That Ahok is evil one to begin with. Meanwhile, might be happen is that Ahok cases can be solved easier at the day. But guess what? In the past, how massive and how radical our cases in the first place, Mr. Madam Chair. Therefore, it shows you CGS are no longer enough to cater problem. Even if Desi say to you that it is investigation and so on and so forth, ladies and gentlemen. But secondly, they say it thirdly, but they say it's harm because you take your family life or even your father's life to begin and makes government too authority to begin. Number one, we say no, it's not true. Why? Because government take your father's life or right simply because your father have high intention to violence other people, ladies and gentlemen, or giving other harm to begin with. Therefore, it's right action by the government by limiting your father's action to begin because government trying to protect other society or even innocent people that going to get violence from your father in the purpose, Mr. Madam Chair. Moreover, in terms of authority, somehow we think that authority is still okay by the government itself because we think society will okay because there is social contract in terms of election period, for example, ladies and gentlemen, that you put your trust towards your government, sit in the universities of Lampung or another university, just go simple as like that, ladies and gentlemen. That shows you government are progressive enough to cater and uphold your right to begin even if you are minority people, ladies and gentlemen. What does it mean? The government try to give you equal treatment, equal outcome to begin with, Mr. Madam Chair. Therefore, it's right when they is not justified simply because I'm black people, simply I'm minority to begin with, Mr. Madam Chair. But secondly, what happened in ECO? They say it's harm because in status quo will limit your action to do such demonstration in the public, for example. You need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, exactly the intention of doing crime compared to demonstration or speak up in the public, ladies and gentlemen. Somehow, under proposal, we are only punish you, we are only giving you punishment or even use the technology for you to have intention to do crime. We think that speak up in the public is not crime to begin with, Mr. Madam Chair. Therefore, we still let you go to begin with. Therefore, we are not limit your movement for as a social movement or progressive social movement to demonstrate in the front of public, in the front of empire and so on and so forth, ladies and gentlemen. So they need to characterize to you why speak up is harm, why speak up is crime, then we can limit your right to begin with, Mr. Madam Chair. Go to the trade-off, right? The trade-off is this. Yes, we might be impulsive and is irrationally, but it's okay. Number one, it directly have possibility to do, cut the possibility to do crime in the purpose, Mr. Madam Chair. But secondly, this is effective way for us to get better outcome, to make sure our society is protecting their right, and also to make sure that our world is going to be peacefully at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, go to closing government.
Ladies and gentlemen, closing government never engaged over our case where minority will be protected without civil system. Second of all, they always play the scenario where CGS is bad. If that's their important cases, we think that it's already been rebutted by Kak Desi. Somehow that long investigation is better than involving society, because as government, we realize that we still need society participation in order to create peaceful society. Under their side of the house, they will never involve society in decision making. It will going to be hurtful, right? Which is because the only way nation can survive is by involving its society. Even in dictatorial country like Kim Jong-un, they still Kim Jong-un still needs society support in running his regime, right? So that's why we think that under government side of the house, society participation will not going to be happen. Government bench seem proposed in civil system will create such a perfect living world. Everyone live peacefully and will give significant benefit that suddenly the world we live in will have no crimes happen and everyone will going to be happy. Ladies and gentlemen, notice that closing government is just a same snack with a different shape of the product that goes in line with opening government that gives zero benefit to our society and why people would love in using civil system. Also, second of all, ladies and gentlemen, notice this scenario. When your boyfriend keep asking you where you at, suspecting all your action that you may cheat on him, you want to break free, right? You want to snap his neck. Under the proposal that government proposed, everyone will going to be rehabilitated, everyone will be punished because you just have those intentions and you will get rehabilitation and you will get punishment. Under
protected? Why minorities will be protected? First, we give room for them to speak up. As you see, that there are people who are suffering. That's why because government can see that they are still part of society that are suffering. That's why the peaceful society will only be achieved under closing operations under the
If CEO cannot take the benefit because their characteristic of the government being bad. Notice that under Desa when you use police and the government is that bad, it's still going to be the same, right? They're still going to be bad. They're still going to be oppressive. Yeah.
Notice, ladies and gentlemen, under our side of the house, people are still going to use their emotional calculation and so on and so stuff. So we think that that's why under opposition of the house, those movements will going to be work. Those breakthrough of creating policy will going to be work. That will not going to be happen under the house. Because under government side of the house, everyone will be appetized. Everyone will not have the incentive to actually help people because they do not want to actually being someone that have extreme emotions to in empathy in certain cases just because they do not want to have the intention to kill someone probably. First of all, we think that which proposal will lead peaceful society and benefiting them. OJ proposed the opening government proposed civil system where they believe it will give happiness and lead peaceful society. We don't think so because the not happiness will only happen when you create satisfaction for your people, and we don't think that it will lead into peaceful society because peaceful society only happen when we let the nature of human is to help each other. That absolutely will not going to be happen under the side of the house. Notice, ladies and gentlemen, why that happiness will not happen under the side of the house? Because you as a human being, you live under supervision 24/7, and those exactly will not going to make you happy. You will not to be happy at all. Look, the case coming from closing government, like how they do petty crimes and you will get a rehabilitation. This scenario that will going to be happen, ladies and gentlemen. You steal food because you are hungry and you just have to give up under your condition because you are under economic incapability. So you just steal food, then you just steal food for you to survive, but you will go to rehabilitation. Imagine going to rehabilitation when all you do is only the act to survive in life. You will not going to be okay, but you will opt out from that rehabilitation and becoming crazy because government is already crazy to begin with in putting you in rehabilitation when your act is only to give yourself some little amount of bread to survive in life. What this translates into? In the future, people has no interest in helping each other. Because why? Because human will not showing up. Because human will not show the act of disappointment. Humans will not going to show the act of raging madness and so on and so stuff, right? When you show the act of disappointment and raging emotion, and how you enact our patriarchy policy, you will instantly getting rehabilitation and being punished by government because you rebel the government policy, right? That's why we say to you why government side of the house will not going to protect any part of the society, even the minorities that they say ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Yeah, please note that but being poor is not going to be justification. It will motivate you as poor to regulate yourself as being blind, for example. But second of all, by having this civil system, government probably going to be under education system, under maintaining education, also financial, and also another development, but not focusing on the criminal system.
We think that first of all, notice under the side of the house how they say that poor is not being the justification. Ladies and gentlemen, human act based on what their condition told them to. Because somehow, even if you poor, you want even if you poor, you actually want to get money to buy some food. But somehow at certain times, these people just have no exit mechanism except for them to actually have some bread, ladies and gentlemen. But under government side of the house, they will instantly put you in rehabilitation. That's why government will see you just fine because the problem is going to be over when you put in rehabilitation, ladies and gentlemen. You have no, because somehow government will not going to focus on why their policy is not benefiting these people who are still in under poverty, for example, because those problems will going to, because government think those problems will going to be erased anyway the moment when you put them in rehabilitation. Second of all, how this they said that it will going to make government will going to be focused on other things. Ladies and gentlemen, even if we stick with status quo, government can still focus on all of the things. We don't think that civil system will not going to cost a lot of money because when all of these people go to rehabilitation,
the systems what we use, what method to use is actually by sticking with the status quo. When we stick to use this human and emotionality over government dictatorship that will going to be happen under government side of the house. Ladies and gentlemen, minority will speak up because it is against government policy. Minority create the moment this minority create movement create movement. If they use even if they use aggressive way, it is the only way to get the attention from government. That's why finally those policy will going to be happen under our side of the house to protect this minority. We oppose this.